it is preferable for you to do so.
Strengthen our answer lah, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Thank you, Amir, for asking the question. Here I'm looking at others. Kita ada 30 dalam kelas. Can I would encourage you to obviously people to ask question. Yes. Any questions that you want to ask? Kenapa keluar this one? What did I do? The rest yang the girls macam mana? Gilbert, I'm worried about the non-Muslim. Okay. How do they orang kata? How do they have any, whether they have any issues or not? Brian, Gilbert, siapa yang non-Muslim lagi kat dalam ni?
Maybe Brian boleh bagi dia punya opinion kot sebab Brian
Brian, can we have your opinion? Kenapa ni apa gambar mana keluar? Kutubi punya. Apalah. Yeah, Brian. Are you here? Brian? Brian? Siapa lagi selain Brian? Gilbert? Mana? Gilbert? Oh, ini sini. Guys, apa ni? Kalau tak nak cakap, then kita end the session je lah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, good. Thank you.
When giving the example to prove the principle regarding this topic, it means that we can use like example of statute from Malaysia and other countries, and also the Islamic law itself, kan?
Which question you are talking about?
When answering question, we provide our principle, and how to prove that principle, we can give example of statute of written law in Malaysia and other countries, and also the Islamic principle itself, kan, sir?
You can give example if you need to reinforce the, what do you call it, the idea of jurist or the principle of the jurist. So for example, if you're mentioning about meals, right, harm principle, then you want to push the idea home, right? You want to make sure that the examiner knows that you understand the harm principle. After elaborating what is harm principle, then you must be able to secure it with an example. That's it.
Okay.
Just a passing remark that you know what it is and its relevance to the provision of the law.
Oh, so anything relevant to the principle?
Anything relevant.
As example. Okay, sir.
Yes,
understand.
Good. So in that manner, thank you, Ashraf. How about the rest? If there is...
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, like yesterday we did a question on LGBT,
Yes.
and then the opinion of the Islamic approach in Malaysia is in line with our constitution.
Yes.
So let's say if it's like something like drinking liquor, like in Malaysia it's allowed, I'm not saying that it's allowed for the Muslims, but like it's being sold in Malaysia. But then the Islamic view is that it shouldn't be sold. There shouldn't be any transaction regarding liquor. So how are we gonna like? Should we include that? Oh, in the Malaysian constitution, we allowed the transaction regarding to liquor, but in the Islamic approach, according to the Al Quran and As Sunnah, any transaction regarding liquor shouldn't be allowed at all whatsoever. So how are we gonna answer the question, sir? If there's a contradicting, like there's a contradiction between the constitution and the view of the Islam.
Okay. Do you remember our task as students? We are to mention what it is, you know, meaning all the jury's opinion or ideas that you want to present, they are in direct conflict, or maybe some of them are similar to each other, right? They are in the same group, or either they are totally against each other. It is fine for you to do that. That is the main aim of the question, is to test you whether you are able to state, juries, that is their opinion, and try to conflict with each other, in order for you to send a message, to portray that you really understand the various approach of jurists there are in our world. Why is it important? Because as I already mentioned yesterday, you as a judge later on, you don't want to be sound as or look at as a person who doesn't know about law, or a person who is biased, who is just only concerned about what you believe. You cannot be there on the bench to represent your ideas, your opinions. You must be doing that by virtue of the provision of the law. And in order for you to do that, when there is no law to guide you, then you have jurists to guide your thinking. You cannot be doing on your own. By doing on your own, it is very, very vulnerable, because your decision that you're going to make is based on if it is based on your opinion, obviously it will come back and bite you. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to be laughed, you don't want to be scrutinized, because your opinion is just your opinion. You are nothing, right? As far as a person that is supposed or responsible to bring in justice, you are to bring in justice by virtue of all the established jurisprudence principles there are. Boleh nampak?
Nampak, sir. Yeah, I have another question.
Good. Alright.
Okay, like while we're answering the question, should we like put all together the juries that agree with the subject of the question, or should we kind of like, because there are certain juries yang macam, oh, this juries agrees with this juries, but then this juries dia tak agree dengan this juries. Should I macam selang-selikan dengan juries yang tak agree dengan opinion dia, or so in the first part I discuss regarding the juries yang agree dengan the subject, and then after that I discuss regarding dengan juries yang tak agree dengan the subject.
Okay. It is good for you to rojak them. Yeah, it is good for you to rojak them. But knowing that some of you are not happy with the subject itself, you have to go through. You are forced to finish this paper. You don't like to think. You just want to follow. If you are that type of person, then jurisprudence is not something of your forte. You don't like it. So if you don't like it, then you still want to get A, right? So in order for you to get A, you can do in a way that you present all the pros, meaning all the pros juries, in sequence, right? And then you move on to the one that is against, yeah, pro and contra, yeah. So you put in, say for example, the positive element, positive to the statement, not positivism, eh? So you put in all the positive juries, and then you move on to the negative juries. That can be done also. But if you are okay, you feel that you are able to jump from one person to another to compare and contrast, that is even better. Then the marks would be higher. But in order for you to do that, you must be able to have a sound foundation of the juries. You know, you quickly can jump from Austin and goes to Mills, and then go to Bentham, and then jump again to Devlin, and then you are everywhere, you know. But as I already mentioned, if you want to do that, you must bear in mind the objective of the question. If the objective is very clear, then therefore you stick to the objective from the moment you start writing until the end of the answer. Okay? Boleh, Anis?
Okay, sir.
Any other questions that anyone who wants to ask?
Sir,
Yes, good.
in regard to Anis's question just now,
Yeah, Yazira.
so so macam even if the question asks you to support, contoh support LGBT, we still it is still better for us to compare or contrast on the juries, or for that type of question yang ask us to support, kita ambil apa yang support je. Ke
No,
better kita mix juga?
tak ada question yang akan ask you to support.
So anyhow pun kita akan still rojak lah better.
Yes.
Okay,
Because the main game of the question, the purpose actually behind all the exercise of testing you whether you know all the juries that has been taught to you is about the ability for you to be impartial, to be non-partisan, you know. You are distant yourself, you are able to distance yourself from the subject, i.e. you are not personalizing the object of your the issues that is in your hands. Say for example, the issue is about murtad. You are as a Muslim, yeah, a Muslim judge. So how do you see things? Your belief comes into play, but you know, it will in a manner that you feel wrong for you to do that because you are a Muslim judge. So therefore, jurisprudence is trying to train you not to do that, because if you were to do that, then obviously the decision that you're going to make is going to be unjust, you know, that is baseless, that is having no concrete foundation, because juries is everywhere in the world when it comes to their ideas, and what you need to do is pick and choose anyone that is relevant enough to your discussion. Okay, you can say for example agree to meals if it goes against Islamic principles, you know, because Islamic jurisprudence is you know, open, anyone can interpret, because that is your ijtihad. Okay, even though we are talking about the ulama, yeah, the people who are the one that is knowledgeable in terms of jurisprudence, right? When it comes to matters that is ambiguous, yeah, or something that is not settled by virtue of Al-Quran and Hadith, you have every right to not agree. Say for example, I disagree with the fatwa of you know, yoga. You know, the fatwa says is yoga is haram. Fine, that is not haram by virtue of Al-Quran and Hadith. It is by virtue of their juris opinion, yeah, or the ulama, because they have their ijma, yeah, the consensus between them to discuss the matter, by virtue of the provision which they interpret the primary and secondary sources in Islam, Al-Quran and Hadith. Their interpretation is just their interpretation. Guys, can you listen? Are you hearing the drilling noise?
Okay.
Malam dah lari ke hotel untuk nak buat lecture, untuk nak buat training. Hari ni kena dengan drilling pula. Okay, I move myself to. Okay, buat boleh tak nampak what I'm trying to say just now? I don't know whether I answered your question. Siapa yang tanya tadi?
Yes, sir. Nampak.
Siapa? Oh, okay. The rest yang bukan my group macam mana? I mean, it's not fair for me to discuss something which you are not party to the conversation. Let's talk about macam mana. Do you really understand the position of Islamic law? Mana ni Brian dengan Gilbert ni? I want a non-Muslim perspective. Yeah, Gilbert, Brian, can you contact them and say that don't just open your PC and you know, and you are doing something else. Yeah. Can you contact Brian? Yeah. Yasmin, yes. Good. Yeah, Yasmin. Oh Allah, mana I punya mouse pula. Yes, Yasmin. Yasmin? Brian, Gilbert. Siapa yang Christian dalam group ni?
Sir?
Yes, Yasmin.
Yeah, sorry, yes, sir.
Yeah.
My house dekat dengan masjid.
Oh,
Okay. So, sir, where do you stand, sir, between the Sunni and the Shia?
I am
Do you
neither Sunni or Shia. If I were to be in power, all those mazhab will be ending. I end all the mazhab if I were to be in power. They
because
are against the Islamic principle.
I do think so, because mostly the conflict between the Shia and the Sunni based on the power, politics and retribution rather than just religions, because I think the core of the Islam between them are the same, except for the amounts of solat, 3, for Shia only 3, but for Sunni only 5. So I would say the pillars, the core of the Islam is itself is the same now. So
The
no
core
need to.
of Islam is what?
They believe in God, they believe in Allah, they believe in Muhammad, except the Shia. The Shia, I think they are more extreme. They are extreme to Ali. So
there you go, Yasmin. There you go where you do not have the full stop. You have comma. You have to have a full stop. Let's do a full stop. Where does if a person is a Muslim, how do you define a Muslim? You start off asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna muhammadar rasulullah, full stop. That's it. No question about that. It's the creed. That is our foundation. So whatever you believe, things that needs to be to be interpreted in the issues where it is bound to be interpreted differently, then you respect each other. Agree to this.
And also I don't know, maybe myself could. I think like the Shia is more extreme. It's not like the Sunni tak ada, but like the Sunni of course ada ISIS, ada Al-Qaeda and stuff. But then the Shia itself, they are more extreme to themselves. Like they for example, Hari Ashura, they cut themselves with razors, the blades and the kaca and stuff. So uh, I don't think to begin with, like if a Christian wanted to like convert to Muslim, I think the best way to 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 convert is to follow Sunni rather than Shia, because it's more extreme lah for me individually.
Have you no, for the sake of discussion, right? Have you done the research with respect to Shia? How many
Yeah,
hours that you have spent? I mean your study.
uh, I don't want to say like myself done more research, but then I've seen like a few videos before attend this class. Like
Good.
I think the Sunnis don't even regard the Shia as real Muslims. They 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 they, they classify the Shia as sesat. Maybe because originally, because roughly 85% of the Muslim population is Sunni, while the 50% is only the Shia, and the Shia concentrated in the areas in Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Iran, while the Sunni is in Egypt or Saudi Arabia, whereby there's Kaaba and stuff. So I think that's why the Sunni thinks they are better, and because they are bigger in the world population, so that's why it thinks
Uh,
better.
you have learned from the perspective of war.
Mm-hmm.
Majority does not mean that you are having a certain advantage for you to win. Doesn't mean that you are, you know, being a person of jurist, being a person of law. Obviously, just because people are saying that that person is wrong, is wrong. If the evidence is not, then how can you say just because the number of people saying that the person is wrong is you are to decide that that person is wrong when the facts does not go against your statement or their statement. In order for us to find truth, it is for us to be able to uh, to look at the facts. Yeah, it is not about listening to other people's opinion. You know, for example, that when I am saying something, you are not to listen to me. Yes, you listen to me, but you have to do your own investigation because this is your life. This is your duty as a judge later on. You are not to be influenced with other people. Yeah, you are to look, you are there to be giving justice. In order to do justice, you have to be able to see from every perspective there are. Okay, so when it comes to Sunni and Shia, nobody is in the position to say the other group is is not Muslim. Okay, the same goes for people of Christianity, people in Judaism. The same thing that is occurring. In fact, quite a number of, say for example, other religions also have their own division. And then the most important thing is look at the main the main tenets or the main importance belief. If the important belief is there and they are the same, why do you have to have that division? Is up to you, but you don't have any rights to say towards others that they are wrong. It's just a difference of opinion. Yeah, Yasmin.
Yeah, okay, sir.
uh,
And also, sir,
yeah.
do you believe the hadith said that when Zaid al-Arqam say okay, the Rasulullah say okay, I leave you two things, Quran and Sunnah, but
Mm,
the Shia said
mm,
Quran and Ahlul Bait. So
mm.
uh, do you personally, individually, you search for this source?
If you look at the situation of what is happening to Muslims all over the world, It is because the interpretation that they have, you know, and the interpretation that they have done. I see there is no peace in our religion. There is no understanding, true understanding of the religion. So who is best actually to define what is in our religion? Obviously, Rasulullah and its family members lah, if it is already stated, you know, that is my belief. So if now coming back to the fact, let's look at the facts. The fact is, by virtue of our primary and secondary data, you don't have that primary data that the Al-Quran stating clearly that the representation of Rasulullah is supposed to be Ali, right? Ali was not mentioned clearly in Al-Quran, but in Al-Quran it does mention who are the family members of the Al-Quran. Go into online Al-Quran and you will see the family of Rasulullah mentioned in the what they call it in Al-Quran. So if you have that in Al-Quran and then you couple it with the provision of the hadith, that is one of the video that I've given you, the Dr. Amar, right? Dr. Amar, a video about the differences between Shia and Sunni. If you go along that line, then you will see that the statement that you are to follow the family of Rasulullah is for the ability for us to clearly understand what is Islam. If you allow other people to interpret, obviously there are going to be various interpretation. And one thing that I can share with you from the 97 clashes of Rasulullah, if you go online, if you look at the number of clashes of war or battles that Rasulullah enters or having at that point of time, out of the 97 wars, none of them are offensive. They are defensive. So Islam promotes defensive rather than offensive. But after he died, we conducted offensive wars where we go and attack other people. We go into Europe, we go into Spain, we go into Africa to dominate, to expand the empire. And then if Malaysia, we don't have that kind of situation. It came in as a very subtle, you know, without force and things like that. But when it comes to those areas, then you see the link between Islam and the spread of Islam by virtue of sword. You cannot deny facts. Though you don't like it, you will have to face the fact that it happens. You know, does it relate to what Rasulullah said? He can say that Rome will go down. You at one time in the future, you are going to be in control of certain cities and things like that. That is his prediction of what is going to happen. Doesn't mean that it is going to be right. He did not ask you to attack all those other people. He did not ask you to kill other people just because you want to have that empire. Like Ikrafidin, if you go along that line, if you go along that line, there is no compulsion in Islam. Why you have to have an empire then? If you look at all those people between the killing of all the family members of Rasulullah, you know, you will start to question. You have to question everything. Anything that, what happened during the day that Rasulullah died? Does the transition really take place peacefully? What happened? Why why does the daughter of Rasulullah do not want anyone to see her when they what they call it? She was buried after a few months after Rasulullah. Why did she die? If she died, and then why was her statement saying that she doesn't want to see anyone of the members of Sahabah? All these things has to be discovered, because it is not something for fun, because this is the practice of you as a student of law, in order for you to find the truth. So you cannot be influenced by other people just because it is popular. Popular does not say or give the truth. Okay, be careful. Yeah, all I want you to do is to find for yourself. You not letting other people to dictate us or our mind, our mentality. Nobody is to dictate us. If we were to allow people to dictate us, then we fail as a law student, or you as a law person that is going to be uh, given power, and you are to give justice, because you are biased already. Okay, Yasmin? Boleh? Panjang sikit dia.
Okay,
Right.
sir.
Having said that, to me, as I already mentioned, when somebody asked me about my stand of this mazhab, I don't believe in mazhab. Because of the mazhab, we are having all these problem in our society. Yes, the mazhab exists because the jurists, yeah, the Maliki, Hambali, Shafi'i, siapa lagi seorang? Shafi'i, Maliki, Hambali,
Hanafi saya.
Hanafi.
lupa pula. So these four jurists is they wanted to have a different opinion, but because of their opinion that was different, uh, we see in this world of Sunnah wal Jamaah disparity. So we don't allow other Sunnah, other jurists thinking in our society. If you look at the Islamic law that we apply in Malaysia, we don't allow other mazhab interpretation to be conducted. We all apply only Shafi'i, right? We don't allow Maliki, Hambali, Hanafi to be able for us to use for interpretation of the law. That itself create some dominance issues, whereby this is my domain. We believe in this particular person. We are right. You are wrong. That is the one that I am worried. And actually, this division that we have, though it is petty in the first place, it's supposed to be petty. But if you look at all the evidence of this mazhab, they create chaos in our society. Okay, this particular member of the family cannot be married with another mazhab, and then the interpretation that they have towards the other groups, so many what they call it, injustice that has been going on. Enough is enough. Islam started with Rasulullah. There is no mention about Rasulullah saying that this is what that I'm allowing you to be different, but that particular promotion is not about creating groups. You can be different in your own opinion, but you are not supposed to uh, making it as the truth, saying that I'm with this mazhab, therefore I'm going to be right, therefore everyone else is wrong, therefore everyone is kafir. Because as I mentioned just now, you do not put a full stop. There must be, Islam is about a full stop. Full stop, how do you know where to put the full stop? It's based on Rasulullah. What he did was
Sir,
Anis.
I have a question. Why do we follow mazhab Shafi'i? Like for example, in family law, women who wanted to get married, they need the permission of their what do you call that? wali.
Wali, yeah.
Yeah, but then there are cases where people who got married, like in Thailand, when they came back, their marriage is valid. It's similar to the marriage that was conducted in Malaysia with the presence of wali, as it was in Thailand. So why do we have to follow the Shafi'i mazhab, like, if we accept other mazhab as well? Because I grew up thinking that because Shafi'i mazhab is very strict, why are we following the strict mazhab instead of following things that, you know, it makes it easier for Muslim people in Malaysia to practice their belief?
So your question is a valid question. Why you have to follow any type of mazhab when when actually the practices that we apply is different when it comes to the laws of Sharia here in Malaysia. Uh, this is where I think I am very frustrated with the situation whereby they have already presented that the law is the law. Yeah, the law that they have is the law of Islamic law, and nothing else is to be accepted. Going back to the source, going back to Rasulullah, he did not, he did not say that you are supposed to have some regulation with respect to marriage. He did not practice that. Do you think that he is, I mean, to put it bluntly, takkanlah you nak kata Rasulullah bodoh, yeah, by not able to see forward about the problems that is going to be happening if we don't have such procedures to get married. You know, there are procedures in the time of Rasulullah, but how come he did not put it as a condition? And then who are you to later say that, oh, I think he did not do that, therefore I think we need to do this? Who are you? Okay, as Anis have already stated, we have a law that if you want to get married here in Malaysia, you have to undergo certain criteria. You know, okay, fine. If you were to do that, then therefore you nullify those marriages that occurs other than Malaysia. Dare you go against that? No, you don't. Why? Why in the first place that you have that regulation? Or you can come up with saying that, oh, we need to regulate, we need to make sure that everyone would do all this kind of thing. Who give you the power in order for you to create extension of the the procedure of getting married? You think that you are better than Rasulullah, better than Al-Quran, thinking that there must be things that innovation that you want to create? If the innovation has created injustice, then are you saying that you are the one, the solution? The problem that we face in our Islamic, for Islam in general, is the one that we self-create. The problem that we face in Islam itself is we self-create, self-creation problem. Islam is very simple, very clear, very, you know, uh, very simple lah. You know, why you are creating problems, then so this is just my opinion, right? So what I'm saying here is that you are to discover, kalau macam tu kenapa pula kahwin dekat Thailand? Boleh, senang je, tak ada requirement registration lah apalah, you know. If I were to actually I have seen a marriage in Thailand, you know, when it comes to what they call this, tak apa, bising. When it comes to marriage in Thailand, the procedure is very simple, and they just want you to get married, and in order for you to go through the process, they document it because they knew that the documentation is going to be useful for you in Malaysia, you know. But if you look at Christians, how they get married, they just enter into the registration book. Then, you know, or if during Rasulullah, you are to conduct, what they call it, kenduri, right? Sort of to announce to the society that you are married. So you can equate that to the registration as the announcement to the society that you are married. Um, but do you stop people from getting married just because they are not able to do that? That is what I want in your mind, to be able to see things differently from what it is. Okay, to analyze, to criticize, to compare, and contrast all the things that is happening in order for us to find the truth. Now, your truth is not going to be perhaps the truth that is different from the other person. Fine, you can have your differences, but you are not to say that the other person is wrong. You just accept the differences that occurs after you have conducted your research or your understanding to that particular subject. Apa-apa pun you belajar, you are not to come back and saying that the other person is wrong. If you were to do that, then you are not doing proper jurisprudence lah. So somebody is asking something. Oh, ada habis lah time. Alright. So I think because I have a class also. So thank you very much guys for coming. I hope it is fruitful. Then we can do the discussion further in our tutorial inshallah. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Terlebih masa.